At the beginning of the story, a girl arrives at a house to work as a babysitter, meaning her job is to take care of the babies who live there. She enters the home but doesn't see anyone around, so she calls her mom to let her know that she'll be staying there that night. During the call, she hears a strange voice and follows the sound coming from the basement. What she sees next is unbelievable. A woman sitting there, eating her own baby. The lady looks at the girl in a disturbing way, and when the girl tries to run, the woman's husband shuts the basement door, trapping her inside. The girl is killed, and we notice a mysterious mark on the basement door, something that will be revealed later in the story. A few years later, the scene shifts to the present day. We meet a 17-year-old boy named Ben, who is going on vacation with his younger brother to visit their dad. Ben reaches the small town where his father lives. At dinner, we learn that Ben's parents are getting divorced, and Ben is very unhappy about the idea of his family being separated. His dad works at the port, which is why he takes Ben along to his job. There is another house near Ben's dad's place where a family has also come for vacation, a couple with their 2 sons. Ben asks about them, and his dad says they probably came to stay for a few days. Meanwhile, Ben gets into an argument with some local boys. While he is talking with them, a girl named Mallory comes over to Ben. She is also working in the area. The story then shows a scene in the forest where a woman named Abbie is wandering with her son. This is the same family that came to vacation near Ben's dad's house. They were hiking when Abbie's son got separated and became lost. While alone, the boy notices a strange tree and a tunnel beside it, with voices coming from inside. It sounds like his mother calling him. The boy becomes frightened, but then he sees the same mark on the tree that we saw earlier on the basement door. He takes a photo of the symbol and notices something eerie in the tunnel, what looks like a hand beckoning him to come closer. Meanwhile, Abbie arrives and takes him with her. On the way, her car collides with a deer. The deer dies and Abbie brings it home. Her husband asks, "Why did you bring it here?" Abbie replies that they can use the meat and says she will cut it herself so their kids can learn how meat comes into the city. She goes to cut the deer with a knife, but she can't bring herself to do it. She ends up getting both herself and her son dirty, so she finally gives up and leaves. Now we see Ben waking up in his house. He feels as if someone is walking on the roof. He goes outside and notices a hole near Abbie's house. It looks like it was made by an animal. Abbie's husband also wakes up and asks Ben what happened. He tells him not to worry and to go back to sleep, saying it must be some animal. Meanwhile, a strange creature with glowing eyes is shown hiding behind Ben, watching him. The next morning, Abbie's son is standing near the hole Ben saw during the night. As Ben is leaving, he tells the boy to move aside because he feels that maybe an animal is hiding there. Later that day, Abbie steps outside with her younger son in her arms and notices that the flowers around their house have withered. She also feels as if someone is watching them from the basement. At noon, Ben meets Abbie's older son on the seashore. The boy is asleep in a boat. Ben wakes him up and asks what he's doing there. The boy says he was waiting for his father, who promised to take him out on the boat that day. Ben then offers him lots of candy in exchange for a favor. He wants the boy to tell him if he notices anything unusual around his house, because Ben is still frightened by what he experienced the previous night. These days, Ben's father also likes a woman named Mallory and wants Ben to meet her, but Ben refuses. He feels that his parents are drifting apart because of her. Upset, Ben goes with Mallory to a party with her friends without informing his dad. He drinks a lot and enjoys himself at first, but Mallory's friends mistreat him at the party, which makes him furious. That night, the security monitor in Abbie's house shows her younger son sleeping in a stroller. A strange creature with shining eyes is seen lurking around him. Suddenly, the child's toy falls to the floor, waking Abbie. She goes to the baby's room and is shocked to find that her son is no longer in the stroller. Only pieces of wood are left inside it. Then 2 hands emerge from below and grab Abbie, pulling her down. Later, Ben is returning home at night and sees Abbie holding her baby in her arms. Before he can stop her, his father appears, angry with Ben because he had planned a dinner with the woman he likes. Ben finally tells his dad, "I don't want to meet her, Dad. You're leaving Mom because of that woman." That woman overhears this because she was with Ben's father at the time. Realizing they were talking about her, she storms out angrily. The next morning, Abbie is shown behaving in strange ways, yet her husband and children don't suspect anything unusual. Her husband has to leave the house to take care of an errand. Abbie's older son walks into her room and sees his mother naked and in a bizarre, disturbing state. He is terrified by the sight. When Ben arrives home that night, his bedroom door is open and Abbie's son is still there. The boy fights to hide his fear and tells Ben, "I don't want to go home, and please don't let her come in." He was speaking about Abbie. Just then, Abbie comes to Ben's house to take her son back. Ben lies to her, saying the boy isn't there, because he feels Abbie may have beaten him. Her husband also shows up, and after hearing his father's voice, Abbie's son finally comes out of hiding. The boy tells his dad, "Let's go home, Dad." Ben now becomes suspicious and feels something is seriously wrong with that family. The next day, he begins spying on them, but at first he notices nothing obvious. Later, when Abbie is with her husband in their room, strange marks are seen on her body, and there seems to be a voice coming from inside her very bones. It looks as if someone has possessed Abbie, or that she may not be Abbie at all. Ben then sees the same strange symbol Abbie's son had noticed in the forest at the beginning of the story. He photographs it and searches online for answers. While gathering information, he learns about a demon, an ancient, terrifying witch who lives within the roots of trees in the forest and uses human bodies like clothing. She can enter a person, leaving them outwardly the same while the witch remains hidden inside. This witch has the power to control minds and to drink the blood of infants. Once she possesses parents, they completely forget their own children, allowing the witch to steal the babies. Abbie was actually killed earlier, and the figure pretending to be her is the demon witch wearing Abbie's skin. The witch had already devoured Abbie's real babies and had taken full control of her husband's mind. Ben was shocked to learn all of this and felt helpless. He couldn't even report it to the police. Who would believe him? Desperate, he called his friend Mallory and told her everything. He said, "Our neighbors are really strange. Their babies are missing, but they don't seem to care at all." Meanwhile, he caught a glimpse of Abbie, the demon witch, hiding something in the basement. As a joke, Mallory wrote a playful note saying, "We know what you hide in the basement," and drew the same mysterious mark Ben had seen before. She threw the note toward Abbie's house. Abbie's husband picked it up, and after reading it, he tried to check the basement, but Abbie stopped him. She whispered something in his ear, and suddenly his ear began to bleed. After that, he seemed out of his mind, like a person who was half dead and half alive. Abbie's skin also started peeling away. The creature was clearly a demon witch wearing Abbie's human skin. Ben became certain something was terribly wrong. His only goal now was to spy on them and uncover the truth. One day he saw Abbie leaving the basement dressed and ready to go out. As soon as she was gone, Ben rushed inside, breaking the lock to get in. What he found was bizarre, a structure made from piled wood, an animal skull lying nearby. It looked like a site for black magic. He discovered photographs of Abbie's family, and every face had been crossed out. To his horror, Ben saw pictures of Mallory's family too, along with his own. It was obvious the witch's next target was Mallory's household. He immediately tried to warn her, because Mallory had a younger sister whose blood the witch wanted to drain. Ben hurried to save them, but he was too late. Abbie had already dragged Mallory into her underground tunnel. Ben grabbed Mallory's hand as she cried for help and struggled to pull her out. He fought with all his strength, but his foot slipped. His head struck a stone, and he fainted. When Ben regained consciousness, night had fallen. He went home only to find police officers waiting. Abbie had filed a complaint accusing him of spying on her house. Fortunately, Ben's dad had already taken care of the situation and managed to calm everything down. Ben says, "Dad, believe me, the lady in our neighborhood must have done something with her kids." But his dad doesn't listen and argues with him. That night, the lady, the one Ben's dad likes, is also staying with them. Soon, Ben realizes that the demon witch has possessed her. He notices that the flowers near her have withered, confirming something is wrong. Meanwhile, the demon witch attacks Ben. He fights back with a knife, but his dad arrives, scolds him harshly, and calls the police, having Ben arrested. Ben tries to explain that the lady is possessed by a demon witch, but no one listens. The police arrest him, and an officer takes him, not to the station, but to the seashore. The officer is bleeding, revealing that the demon has possessed him too. At the seashore, the officer attempts to drown Ben, but a dog that Ben used to feed shows up to help. The officer attacks the dog, then turns back on Ben, but something mysterious happens, and the officer ends up killing himself. Ben's dad grows worried and rushes toward the police station to find him. The demon inhabiting the lady tries to stop him, but he somehow breaks free. He arrives at Abbie's house and peeks into the basement. There he finds Abbie's husband dead and Abbie's body hollow, completely taken over by the demon. Horrified, Ben's dad gets goosebumps and is paralyzed with fear. The demon witch appears from behind, trying to strangle Ben's dad. Ben attacks from behind, shooting the lady, and escapes with his dad. The demon witch, in her true form, flees toward the forest because she still needs a human body to manifest in the real world. The basement is set on fire, and the cursed pictures inside are destroyed. Ben remembers that he has a younger brother who came with him, the same brother we saw at the beginning of the story. Thinking of this, he heads to the place where the demon used to live. Mallory is with him. As Ben enters the tunnel, he notices a trap made of roots and tells Mallory to set the place on fire if he doesn't come out within 10 minutes. Inside the tunnel, Ben first finds his brother and then Mallory's sister, but the demon witch attacks him while he's trying to rescue them. Somehow, Ben manages to get them out safely. Afterward, Ben and Mallory set the place on fire. While returning, Mallory looks back at the burning site. Ben is ready to go home, and before leaving, he meets Mallory one last time. She gives him a flower. As Ben drives away with his parents, he realizes the flower is fake. This means the demon witch has now possessed Mallory because the real flowers wither whenever she comes near them. Mallory is seen with a few kids on a boat, and a creepy smile spreads across her face. Will the evil witch kill the children now that she's inside Mallory? No one knows. This is the film's terrifying ending. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.